We're so used to telling our technology what to do, right? Every single click, every command, every Google search. But what if it could start thinking for itself? Imagine giving it a goal and it just figures out how to get there on its own. Well, that's the promise of what we're calling Agentic AI. And trust me, it's a way bigger leap than you might think. So let's break down what this really means for all of us.
Okay, so to really get a handle on just how big of a revolution this is going to be, we first have to look at the AI we're all using right now. The AI that pretty much just waits for us to tell it what to do.
I mean, just think about it. The AI you use every single day, maybe asking a chatbot for a dinner recipe or telling your smart speaker to set a timer. Yeah, they're incredibly powerful, for sure. But are they actually thinking? Or are they just really, really smart tools? The thing is, most of the AI we have today is fundamentally reactive. It's a passive system. It's like this brilliant assistant who's just sitting there, patiently waiting for you, the human, to give it a prompt, or a command, or a question before it finally springs into action. But that whole passive model, yeah, that's about to get completely turned on its head. So, welcome to the next evolution, Agentic AI. So, what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, an agentic AI doesn't just sit around waiting for your next command. Nope, it's built to actually perceive its environment, make its own decisions, and take independent actions, all to achieve some bigger, broader goal that you've set for it.
And this right here, this is a fundamental shift in how we interact with machines. Think about it. Traditional AI is kind of like a hammer. It's a super powerful tool, but it does absolutely nothing until you pick it up and tell it exactly where to strike. Agentic AI, on the other hand, well, it's more like the carpenter. You don't give it step-by-step instructions. You just give it the blueprint and the goal, like build a chair, and it figures out the rest.
So the million-dollar question is, how does it actually do all this, right? How is an AI agent even built to think and act on its own? Well, let's pop the hood and take a look at its core blueprint. Probably the best way to get this is with an analogy that makes total sense to us humans. At its very heart, an AI agent operates on this really simple cognitive loop that's a lot like our own. It observes the world, it thinks about what it should do, and then it acts. Observe, think, act. Okay, so that basic loop is powered by 4 key components, and they're all working together continuously. You can think of it like the agent's cognitive engine, just constantly cycling through these 4 stages: perception, planning, memory, and action. Let's break down how each part works.
So it all kicks off with perception. This is basically the agent's eyes and ears. It's constantly gathering raw data from its environment, reading text, analyzing images, processing audio, anything and everything that gives it a clear picture of what's happening in the world right now.
All right, once it has all that data, it moves on to the planning module. And this is really the agent's brain. It takes that goal you've given it, it thinks about everything it just perceived, and then it cooks up a step-by-step strategy to get from point A to point B.
But hey, a plan without any context is pretty much useless, right? And that's where memory comes in. The agent taps into both its short-term memory, like what did I literally just do, and its long-term memory, what happened the last time I tried this, so it can avoid making the same mistakes over and over. In other words, it actually learns. And then finally, we have action. This is where the digital rubber meets the road, so to speak. The agent executes its plan using whatever tools it's got. Maybe that's writing code, sending an email, or searching the web. And get this, as soon as that action is done, it perceives the result and the whole loop starts all over again. It's constantly adapting. Okay, so that's the blueprint, but a blueprint is just a drawing, right? It's just theory. What happens when we actually build this thing? What does this kind of AI unlock out there in the real world? And this is where my mind just starts racing with the possibilities. Just imagine an agent that can conduct scientific research, not just running calculations, but actually forming its own hypotheses. Or picture a personal tutor that adapts to your unique learning style, like moment by moment. Or what about a project manager that autonomously coordinates an entire team? We're not just talking about scheduling meetings here. This is about anticipating your needs before you even know you have them. It's wild.
Yeah, when you start to really see these applications, you realize we are on the edge of a profound change in how we interact with computers. This is it. This is our new agentic future.
So here's the crucial takeaway. For decades, for as long as we've had computers, we've told them exactly what to do, step by step. Now we're shifting to a world where we just give these intelligent agents a goal, and our job becomes to guide them,
to act more like a manager or even a mentor.
And this whole shift leaves us with a pretty critical question, doesn't it? As these agents get more and more powerful, more and more autonomous, how do we build the right guardrails? How do we make sure they're always working towards the goals we intend, and that they act as true partners in our progress? That's the big thing to think about.